And welcome back, viewers, to Let's Play Ogre Battle by Mr. Joseph. Tonight's episode will involve just double-checking the units real quick and then going on to the first real level of the game. Now, one thing I mentioned about the units last time was that you get a total of 5 slots in each space, in each unit. See, each one of these is called a unit. A unit consists of various characters, or whatever you want to call them, creatures, humanoids, whatever. This unit, okay, so this unit is a typical unit. It has 5 people in it, 3 fighter-type classes in the front row, a mage, and a Amazon. Now, this unit here has 4 characters in it, or 4 creatures, but the difference is one of the creatures is large, the Griffin on the bottom left. That character counts as 2 slots in the unit, so it makes up the total of 5 maximum. So if using that math, and the octopus counts the same, you can see that all of our units are full. We have a total of 8. Some people like to play with a little bit more, some a little bit less. I think this is just fine. I think probably most people would probably play with a little bit less. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go to the first real stage. The Castle Horn was kind of a fake. It was like a, you know, what do you call it? Like a tutorial? Anyway. This stage allows us to go ahead and talk about some of the main concepts in the game. So, one thing that I want to do right away is I want to use my main character to liberate towns. There are 2 reasons for this. First of all, for the most part, you want your main character to have a high alignment. And having a high alignment as a liberation unit means that you're going to basically do a nice job raising your reputation when you liberate towns. And so, the second reason is that, I think this will probably be all I need here. The second reason I like to use the main character is because each time you draw a tarot card, you get a stat increase. Now, notice what I've done. By clicking, I can't remember what button that is on the actual SNES, but it's one of the buttons, I think it's maybe X. Anyway, by clicking that button, you come up with this menu. It has your options, income projection. I'll just click on that real quick. So you can see how you're doing on income, so you know maybe how many units to deploy or whatever. Options gives you sound and animation options. I'm going to increase the text speed real quick, because I forgot to do that. And I'm going to increase the game speed too, because I think it'll help speed things along. The rest of this can be modified later. Tarot cards gives you a list of your current tarot cards. Edit units allows you to go back to this screen. You can only edit units which are not presently on the overview map. Items gives you your list of items. I only have a few right now, and I could go ahead and equip those, but I'm not going to because they're kind of not so good items. And then deploy. So by clicking on deploy, you can then move your units to wherever you want them to go. So I've liberated my first city, which is Abdella.
Liberation.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the fortune card. Fortune does one of 2 things when it's drawn. First of all, it either raises or lowers your reputation by as much as 3 points. So there's actually a 7-point spectrum that it could do. So I lost 1 point, so that's not too bad. It's kind of in the middle. I'll go ahead and keep the card, though. I'll tell you what the cards do in battle as we progress. You're probably not reading this. Basically, it talks about moving. So if your unit is moving and the enemy unit is moving at the time they encounter each other, then the battle will take place exactly equidistant between the 2. If only one is moving, then the one that's stationary will be the place of the battle. And that matters because some units are strong on water or, you know, mountains or whatever, and so using movement to kind of get different effects for your unit terrain is, you know, battle terrain is very good. Levers increases your reputation by, I think, 2 points, as you're going to see, right? Oh, yes, 2 points. I accidentally clicked out of it, but anyway, I'll go ahead and keep that. This town has a shop, so we're going to go ahead and buy a few things real quick. Oops, I accidentally repeated it. I hate that. The first couple levels allow you to repeat the message, and you just got to be careful. I tend to speed through my messages, obviously, as you can probably tell. First thing I'm going to do is buy about 10 or 11 revives here, and then I'm going to spend the rest of my money on heals. Heals are basic healing items, as you might suspect, and revives are allow you to bring a character back from the dead. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 13 cures as well. Okay. So I have spent every dime that I have. No, I don't want anything else. Okay. So I've completed that. And let's see, I think I'm going to deploy one more unit. I probably won't need him, but what the hell, just in case. Now, the reason that I'm deploying this unit... What the... I think I'm pushing the wrong button here, sorry. Oh, you know what, I can't afford it. That would explain it. Okay, so I'm not deploying any more units, but I am going to use this water unit here to go on up to this location on this island here. Now, part of the beauty of this particular Let's Play is that I'm going to be showing you every secret in the game, that at least that I'm aware of. And as I ambitiously stated in the beginning of this video, I'm also going to... By the way, pushing R, I think it is. Let's see here. Well, I'll tell you about that in just a second. As I ambitiously stated, my goal in this Let's Play is to go ahead and get every secret that I can get, or every power-up that I can get, with the exception of one character that I think I'm going to just not even try, which is almost impossible to get, very, very hard, and that special character is named Gaff, and we'll talk about him more when we get there. I am going to try to get Deneb, the witch, which is very difficult as well, but I think I can do it, and if not, then we won't do it, will we? In fact, I might save it a couple levels before that, just in case I need to go back and, you know, fix the damage I've done. Okay, so... Anyway, as I was going to say, if you push... what button did I assign for R here? What? Okay, well, just let me... okay. I think I pushed R there. That makes you zoom in and out so you can see the whole map. So you can see my units are kind of coming from the, you know, what is that, the east, and then the enemy are coming from that base there where it said boss at the beginning. That base, I mean, right here. Jindark. And they're coming down the road. You can pretty reliably count on the fact that most, but not all, enemies use roads to get to your destination, so you can kind of guess the path that they'll be taking. That's not always true, but that is a general tip that you might keep in the back of your mind. And so, this is a battle. This is the second battle of the entire game. I'm letting the animations play. At some point I might go ahead and turn off the animations to save time. Now, let me tell you a couple things about battling. First of all, you can use tarot cards in battles. I'm going to use a Lover's card just to show you how it works. So your character is kind of turned into this avatar or representative of the tarot card. That representative engages in some sort of action. In this case, he has charmed 2 of the 3 enemy players who will now attack themselves rather than my unit. Different units have different effects. I mean, sorry, different tarot cards have different effects. And so you can see how useful that can be in this case, because it takes away their attacks. Now, as I continue to battle here, I'm going to explain that battles are decided based upon the amount of damage inflicted, and that's it. And in other words, whether or not you win a battle will depend on whether your unit does more damage than the enemy unit overall. And so you can see that my character, or my unit, Joseph, won that last battle because I did more damage to the other unit. Also, notice how the surface of this battle is some sort of cobblestone path, which indicates that it's taking place inside a city. And the reason it's taking place inside a city, as I alluded to earlier, is because my unit is stationary when the battle occurs, but the enemy unit's moving toward my unit, so they must confront me on the territory I have selected, which in this case is a city. Now, let me tell you about battle tactics. Battle tactics you can bring up by clicking in the middle of the battle and clicking tactics. There's best, strong, leader, weak. Best means whichever character is active in the unit, and that's determined by, I think, their agility or speed. That character will do whatever attack will cause the most damage according to the game's programming. Strong will attack the enemy character with the most health points or hit points. Leader will attack the leader, and weak will attack the one with the lowest. And so I'm going to keep it on weak for now. The other thing that battle tech... Ooh, that's dangerous. Okay, so if your lord dies, that's game over. So you cannot let your lord character, which is the main guy in this unit here, the leader, you can't let him die. So I went ahead and healed using the Empress card. I didn't need to do that because it turns out I was just about to win the battle anyway, but I couldn't remember what order of attacks we were in, and better safe than sorry. Now, let me tell you how to tell which character in a unit is the leader. First of all, you might know, because you probably assembled the unit. Second, the name of the unit, of course, corresponds to the leader. And then finally, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little cross or plus symbol next to the health points of one of the units, or five characters in the unit, or 4 characters, or whatever it is. In this case, you can see there's a little cross next to my guy named Joseph. He's the one down in the main part of the screen who's holding the sword and mace. And so he's the leader. In the other enemy unit, you can see that the wizard is the leader, clearly. Some characters cannot be leaders, such as the hellhound that he has with him, or the griffin that I have with me. I have now killed the enemy leader. I have also won the battle. This means that the unit is now disabled. When an enemy unit leader dies, the unit becomes disabled and it must return to base, where it will then have the leader revived. And when the leader gets revived, then the unit can function once again as normal. So in order to kill a unit, in other words, disable it permanently for a stage, you have to kill every single character in the unit. Otherwise, it will just keep coming back and back and back, which it has advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, the disadvantage is you have to get through more to win the stage. The advantage is you can level up a lot more easily. So here, as you can see, I've now killed every single character in the unit, and I got 3 people with a level up, my main character having leveled up, I think, the battle before. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the unit, and you can see that my character is at level 2. He needs 56 more experience to get to the next level, down at the bottom there. You can see his stats there, and we'll talk about stats later. This character made it up to level 3 now, and she needs 100 more experience. Anytime you level up, you need 100 experience to get to the next level, period. The only thing that the game adjusts as far as difficulty of enemies goes is how quickly you earn the experience. It doesn't change the amount of points you earn. And, well, it doesn't change the amount of points you need, I mean, is what I meant to say. You can see that the cost of this unit, or the cost, I keep confusing unit and character. The cost of this character is 160 goth, meaning that that will be added to that, and that, for a total of, I think it's going to be 600. And so if you go up here, you can put your cursor over the name there, and push right. It's going to tell me what the train movement is, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then it's going to confirm that the cost of this unit is 600 goth, so that's how you determine how expensive your units are. Now, I think my unit needs a break, because my griffin's getting low on hit points, so I'm going to move him to the back of this city. And I'm going to go ahead and let this other guy take it. Now, I just barely moved, you see, and the other unit lands is going to take the next battle on. So he's going to fight it out. And, you know, I basically told you a lot of information about how battles work. But now, as you can see, I've killed the unit there, the whole unit as well there, so that one will not be returning. So, in order to level up, there are 2 ways to gain experience in this game. First of all, if the unit is responsible for the death of a character in the other unit, each character in your unit will receive a certain amount of experience points depending on the level differential between the enemy unit and your unit, or the enemy character and your characters. Basically, what that means is if your characters are low level and you kill a high level character, you get more experience, whereas if your characters are high level and they kill a low level character, they'll get less experience. Also, each time you engage in a battle, every character in the unit receives, by default, sort of an ante-1 experience point. So every 100 battles, no matter what, they'll level up. Except in the case of when one of the characters dies. If a character dies in battle, he or she loses his or her experience points completely. So they must start over from 100. I should say he or she must start over from 100. Okay, so that takes care of basically how that process works. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically keep battling these guys. By the way, when you encounter an enemy battle like that, you can push pause, or I think it's B, and what will happen there is your game will pause and you can issue commands right before the battle takes place. So what I'm doing is I'm switching my main character, Joseph, who's already gotten 1 level up, with another character, and as Lance continues to hold out. Now, Lance is a very powerful unit. First of all, Lance is a great knight. He has very high strength. And second of all, he's got 4 allies with him, one of whom is a wizard. So he's got a pretty, you know, kick-ass unit for this early stage of the game. And so, by the way, when I first started this game, Lance had 2 wizards, and I switched out one of the wizards for a Ogre who just shot. And the reason I'm doing that, it will become clear, you know, in the next couple stages. If you're having trouble taking out enemy units, it either means that you're underpowered, meaning you don't have the ability to, you know, rise to the level needed to hit them or cause enough damage to do much good against them, or your tactics are flawed. Maybe you have a doll mage in the front row or a witch or something, and you need to change your characters around to get them to be more offensive or something. That's very common, and I'll give you tips about that as we go. Notice, by the way, that there are now 3 special characters in the game that you should be aware of. First of all, there's your lead character, who is Joseph. There's this guy here, Lance, who runs this unit. And you actually get to keep Warren. Warren is the guy... I'm going to speed up this battle just a little bit here. Warren is the guy that you beat in the end of the last stage. This unit is kind of annoying because it keeps healing. And when units heal, it takes longer to kill them. So I managed to get Joseph, my guy, back up to that city with the shop. In the meantime, Lance is defending this city here. And he's gonna kick ass here real quick. He might get some level ups, let's see. By the way, a very important concept that I'll introduce very early is alignment. Character alignment is determines so much in this game that you cannot ignore it. Okay, so Joseph is gonna be this enemy, but I think the enemy is gonna go on to face Warren, who's guarding the base. And I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Anyway, alignment affects how your reputation goes up and down. It affects your ability to get special characters such as Lance. Well, I don't think it affects Lance, but you know, there are some coming up that it will affect. It also affects how you fight. High aligned characters fight better in the day and tend to be better against evil type characters, or you know, kind of go after them. And low alignment characters tend to be better at going after high, good aligned, good holy characters like angels and clerics, and they also fight much better at night. Alignment is determined by several things. First of all, each unit or each character generally starts at about 50, give or take, depending on the class. And what happens is whenever a character kills an enemy character, if that character had equal or greater than the level of the character who killed him, then that character will stand to gain alignment, generally speaking. Same with charisma, I think. If the character kills a character who is significantly below her or his level, then the character will stand to lose alignment. It's kind of like the big dog picking on it's like the bully picking on the little shrimp. It's not fair, it's considered cruel, it's considered evil. Okay, as you can see, I've lost my first battle, meaning the enemy actually did more damage, and the reason they did more damage is because my unit, first of all, is very low level, but more importantly, is not conditioned to fight in the water. Their unit is because they had a griffin with them, meaning they could fly. However, I think I might have disabled them because, yeah, I took out their griffin, so now they're stuck in the water. It'd be like attacking somebody riding on a griffin and the griffin dies, so the person riding on the griffin falls down to the ocean. That's kind of funny, actually. Here's my octopus unit. I've been waiting to use this one. So I'm going to change this to weak. No, I'm going to change it to strong. See, I'm going to target their octopus because I really want to kill this unit off completely. Okay, having done 10, then the new weak character is the octopus. So Bolt tends to strike enemies harder if they're in water, like these ones are right here. Now, their witch has stunned 3 of my characters, so I only have my cleric left, and she can't do anything other than heal, which does not contribute to victory. Now, when your characters get stunned by a witch or otherwise, and then they get hit, they tend to wake up. So my octopus woke up, and so now it's just a battle of the octopi. I know that I've done a little bit of damage to them, and they've done a little bit of damage to me, and it's going to be a close one, but I think I'm going to pull it out. Also, as you can see there, my octopus did more damage when I changed my tactic to weak. That's because when you're fighting using the weak tactic, your characters do a little bit more damage. Their offense goes up a little bit. But if you fight using the strong tactic, your character's defense goes up, and then leader and best are kind of average, so nothing goes up or down. Okay, so I've killed that unit off. That's great. So that's a helpful tip to know, that if you have a weak tactic, you can do more damage. If you have strong tactic, you can live longer. Okay, so this unit might be going for that temple. Did I liberate that temple? I think I did.
Point it out.
And I'm going to try to kill this unit off. Generally speaking, intelligence is the stat that affects your spell ability, both offensively and defensively. So, and you see how my main character there just killed an octopus, so his alignment probably changed a little bit because of it. See how the stun works. So the stun is more effective against characters that are not so smart, I think. I believe that's true with stun. It's certainly true with targeted damage spells such as Bolt or what have you. Okay, so there's a witch with 1 hit point. So what you might want to do in this situation is just track it down and take it out. Just kind of go over and execute the witch. Here's my main base, and Warren, the third special character that I mentioned, is guarding the base. So if we get into a battle, Warren will be the one to take him out. Warren is actually probably the most experienced wizard in my army, along with this guy Gosh, I guess. Anyway, if you lose your base, meaning if the enemy takes the base in the same way that you liberate cities, you lose the level. You'll have to start out over again, and it's not fun for anybody. So I'm just going to take this witch out here and get these guys some experience. And she's gone. That's convenient. This unit's great because it fights so well in water, and it has a cleric, so it basically doesn't really need to have a city that it bases out of. One very important thing I forgot to mention is that when units are in cities, like most of mine are, they heal slowly over time, so it's kind of like being a garrison. If you get injured in a city, you can heal up pretty well. But if you get injured in the field, not in a city, you will not heal at all naturally. You have to do it using items or not at all. So I got my tactics back on strong. Now, generally speaking, keeping your tactics on strong will, do the most to kind of guarantee you kill off the units, but it also takes a little bit longer and it requires a little bit more patience. However, if you don't have much patience like me, you can turbo your emulator, in my case by pushing the plus button, so here we go. You gotta be careful doing this, because if they start getting some major hits on your units, they can kind of threaten you and maybe even kill you if you're not careful. So as you can see, the leader here, Lance, took some hits and he's down to 36, which is pretty close to, not healthy. But he won, and that's all that matters. And he'll heal up a little bit before, see, watch this. 31. Now it's 44, so you can see about how fast they heal there. Okay, so Lance is going to take this other guy out here. Generally speaking, you'll want to put good aligned characters together, and neutral aligned characters together, and bad aligned characters together. Characters with that sort of makeup tend to function better because they tend to be, more coherent, that you can target people at night or whatever. So as you can see, I'm just gonna let this battle go. Let me see here. I'm just looking at something up here. Also, you earn tax revenue every day that you are on a map, and that revenue continues to increase the more cities you have and the fewer units you have deployed, generally speaking. It's kind of a balancing between those two factors. I'm going to go ahead and move Lance to the back position now, and let this other unit come forward. But what I was going to say is, if you take too long, or if you sit there day after day after day, your reputation will start to go down because you're milking the people for taxes. You only want to be on a map as long as necessary to clear out all the units and then the boss. If the enemy has units left, you will not be penalized for taking taxes. But if the enemy does not have units left, and you stay, let's say, a whole extra day longer than you needed to, I think you get 1 free day after they're all dead, and then the next day you get penalized. So you got to be careful about that. We're actually going to use that tactic on purpose at some point in the game to get a character called Deneb. But we do not have to worry about that right now. Right now, we're basically just focusing on killing off the enemy units, getting some experience, and advancing the map. Now, many people, myself to some extent included on certain levels, like to advance their units into the enemy units so as to kind of be a realistic, tactical situation where units are going directly into each other, moving into each other or near each other, that sort of thing, like a real war. In this level, it's not necessary to do that. I guess I could show you how to do that, but mostly at this point, I'm just trying to kill off their units, get experience, and complete the level. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through this battle. No problem there. I think my guy might be just outside of town, so I'm going to move him back just a hair so he can heal up. Okay, let's see what happens here. I'm turboing a little bit more now because I feel like I'm taking longer than I should. So they're going to take out that wizard real quick. And they're going to take out this wizard real quick. One stat that I forgot to mention, or that I haven't yet mentioned, is called luck. I'm going to change my tactic here to weak. One thing that I have not yet mentioned is luck. If your characters have good luck, they have a better... Ooh, he's going to die if he gets hit by another wizard attack. So there are little tricks you can use. I'm going to use World. World creates a magic shield, so I can't be injured by that wizard now that I have this magic shield, so my guy's not going to die. Because that giant, the guy in the front of their unit, cannot hit my units. See how it missed? That was because of that world card that I played. Okay, anyway, luck increases the chances that you'll find a item, such as a weapon, at any city, actually at temples. I think it only applies to temples. And it increases the chances that after you completely defeat an enemy unit, that the unit will drop an item such as a stat boosting item like an HP or an alignment boost or whatever. And those kinds of items are really useful. But you can also get some other special items that allow you to promote certain types of units, such as an undead ring or a staff or a crown. Now, I'll explain these items as they come up in the game, but just keep your eyes open for items like that. Blood, crown, staff, ring, Dragos, pumpkin plus. I know this might sound weird to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, really, but... Okay, so we've got another unit. Now, the Beastman, who's the leader of my unit and the leader of their unit, is good at attacking beasts, has a high agility, and I think his attack is based on the agility. Fighters and Amazons are just vanilla, just generic fighters. They tend to do pretty crappy damage. They tend to not be so good in general, but, you start out with them, you gotta mold them into the characters that you want. Okay, so we took out their Hellhound. See how far we can get with this Beastman. It's all about the leveling, folks, at this point. So my guy got a level there. That's fine. I'm gonna keep him out front on this. See if we can take this guy out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and have my main character fly to this little place here. I'm gonna have this character come up to here and see if I can liberate this town real quick before taxes. I might not be able to. I know you're saying what town. There it is. There are sometimes hidden towns like the one that Lands was found in, and you gotta find them. And I know where they all are, so don't worry, I'll be pointing them all out. There are 2 in this level. Here's the first one. And the card is Justice, HP boost. That's a great card. Yes, I'll keep that card. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, taxes, I made $20-some thousand. And my character finds the hidden treasure. Yay! So there's hidden treasure on this island. He gets a fire staff. So that's a fire mace. It's a blunt fire weapon. I'm going to send him there, and I'm going to send him there. And I'm going to send Lance there as well. Generally speaking, the enemy will not be so sophisticated as to sneak behind your lines, especially in the early episodes. So if you move your character... Oh, I've been attacked by a neutral character. What a great opportunity to explain a new concept. Neutral characters are characters who are not aligned to either your rebellion or the enemy. They can be recruited by clicking on Recruit, which will recruit the character based upon your charisma, your leader's charisma. So higher charisma increases the chances of you recruiting a character such as a golem in this case. Now, as it happens, golems kind of suck, and I'm probably not going to use them. But it's good to know that you could use him, or how to recruit him, or at least that you don't have to fight him. Because if you don't recruit him, you have to fight him. Anyway, I'm going to speed through this battle pretty quick. Also, one other point about alignment. If you kill a cleric or an angel, your alignment's going to tend to go down. See, okay, that card actually raises my alignment. Hierophant, it's a very good card. But anyway, your alignment changes based upon the class of character you kill as well, is what I'm getting at. So I've got 3 units here at the temple. So if I can take this guy out. And one more. You want to be careful about letting your character get too high of a level, because what will happen then is he will basically start losing alignment for taking on weaker characters like we talked about. So, I'm going to have him actually go all the way up to this temple, and there's a reason for that. Okay, and their unit's fleeing to the city, so I'm going to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to show you how to do like a push for a territory. So I'm sending lands first, followed by short. It's kind of a bad name for a leader, I think. I'm actually gonna, at this point, leave, not fight with my leader again until the 4th level, which is called the Pogrom Forest. There's a very special reason for that, but just, that way my main character's level stays relatively low. I want to kind of build him up as a, really, really good aligned character. It'll help me boost my reputation that much faster. And okay, so I've taken this city from the Empire here. Priestess makes your alignment go up 1. Nice. Also, as a healing card, you can use it in battle. Okay, I just accidentally clicked repeat there. So basically, he's talking about how you can fight enemies at day or night, and it changes depending on their alignment, like we already talked about. What? I can assure you, you don't need to be listening to these conversations if I explain them to you. They're just, you know, who wants to read a text anyway, you know? Books are for losers. Okay, so I managed to disable their unit but not kill it off. So, I'm gonna let it come... I was gonna say, I'm gonna let it come back, but it's... See, units need to take roads, even if they're dead. So I might be able to intercept it? Not quite. Okay, so I tried to intercept it. If I had, like, a flying unit, maybe I could have done so. So it's gonna come right back at me. So, just another opportunity for some experience. Generally speaking, I tend to time my boss battles for A, when I've completed everything I can complete during the main phase of the stage, as well as for a time when, basically you can collect 1 day of taxes and then fight the boss right away. Okay, so I'm going to speed through this. They're going to have to come back, I think. Yep. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to switch things up. I'm going to use a tarot card called... And I don't have it. Okay. I'm going to use... Heurific. What my plan here is put that nasty cleric to sleep so he can't heal anybody until I start trying to kill him. Okay, so now he's asleep. They're both asleep. I'll probably wake this guy up here by attacking him. Yeah. Oh, he didn't even wake up. Okay. Well, now I have, like, free access to this cleric. We'll see if he wakes up. If he wakes up, he'll almost immediately heal himself, which will be slightly inconvenient, but hey, he's not waking up. Let's see how we can do here. And, yeah, so we killed him. So now all of the enemy units are officially dead, and now what you can do immediately... By the way, you know they're dead because we've made it close enough to the boss area here, which is this castle, where you can see the boss unit here. The boss is going to be that question mark with his companions. But there are no other units in range, so that means the boss is no longer sending out units. So you can go ahead and send your excess units back to the base. I'm going to keep 2 units out. I'm going to keep my main character and lands. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it in just a minute. Now, let's see here, viewers. By the way, when I push, I think it's left, it shows me which units I have deployed and which ones are moving. Okay, I pushed right though. I might have those backwards. I can't remember which ones I set them to on my controller, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm funding this run. Oh, one thing I need to do while people are moving back to the base is I need to send this guy to another location. So you can actually zoom out and zoom back in when you have the destination flag out. That way it saves you a little bit of time. We're gonna go find that other hidden city. So I'm gonna go ahead and return him, and then I'm gonna push plus for speed up. And as you can see, it's daytime again, and we found the false city of Falsala, or the hidden city of Falsala. And we've liberated Falsala. By the way, this level contained 2 hidden cities and 1 hidden temple. And so we went ahead and went to all of them and got a star card, which increases your agility during battle and permanently at this time. So that's why I use this character to liberate cities, because it increases my main character's stats. Okay, so now that we've done that, I like to return this guy to the main shop city. And we just wait for us to harvest our taxes. And I guess I can go ahead and turbo that up. Shows us finished moving. And we're up to 62. That's a good haul. So I'm gonna send lands in to take out the enemy leader, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens, viewers. By the way, you know that I ran into one golem as a neutral encounter. The other two characters you can run into in this level are the Hawkman, who flies around the shallow water, I think, and dragons, which are I think on the plains near the mountains or something. I can't remember where you find dragons, but okay, what's this? Yusar, the main boss here, says, "So it's you, Lance. I'm surprised you're still alive. Just luck, I suppose, but your luck has run out. Prepare to follow Gran." Gran being the assassinated kid. Lance, and the same to you, you low-life scum. Today is the day that I take revenge for my fallen comrade.
Fight it out.
Fight it out. So these guys have some bad blood or whatever. And they're gonna express themselves accordingly. Now, in a boss battle like this, you only have to kill the leader, and tarot cards help. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, save you some time by using said tarot card. In this case, we're going to use the Justice card. Justice tends to do good or white damage, I think, or it might be ice damage, I can't remember. I think it's ice. I'll look it up. Anyway, to all enemies on the map. Okay, they're trying really hard to kill that Amazon, and I really don't want them to, because I really want him to have the experience. So if he gets one more shot, and I think they're gonna get... I think I might just win this. Here we go. We're fine. So we killed Yusar, and it looks like we've won the battle. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we got the fireworks. We're gonna get some bonus goth. By the way that you know you didn't lose any reputation for sticking around too long is if you get bonus goth. Basically, bonus goth is like a timer, if you will, from like from a Nintendo game back in the day that had timers on levels for some stupid reason. And what that means is that basically, if you run out of the goth timer, you start losing reputation. It's kind of a above the ledger, below the ledger kind of a deal. So that's Sharom. Now we're going to go back to the same level by clicking on it again, and I'm going to show you just a couple little things that you can get when you come back. And they're important, so you should do this. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go up to this temple here. I'm going to speed things up by pushing plus. And he just tells me not to lose or sell the Star of Heroes. That was the item that I was given when I first liberated the city, Hero Star, so that's important. By the way, even though some of these cities are not that important for the aftermath here, you can go ahead and just go onto them and see what happens. And this one is Valna. Now here's Batista. Batista is a great magician. Actually, I'd like to ask a favor. Somewhere on the continent is a Book of the Dead. If you find one, don't sell it, bring it to me. I'll see that you are well rewarded. And he is correct, you will be well rewarded, so go ahead and keep that in mind. I'm going to show you a non-important city now, and what the people will say to you when you arrive. See, it's just the picture of the city on a scroll there, no character. And they give you little tips and tricks. Don't go up levels too fast, that will lead to evil. I already told you that. Okay, so we're going to go one last place here. By the way, you can visit the boss castle or even your own base. But the boss castle will actually talk to you this time. So I'm going to send my guy down here. That is not what I was expecting. Hold. I thought they were going to give me a nugget. Did I go to the wrong place? Did I already get it? No, I didn't. Well, that's weird. They didn't give me the nugget. Maybe it's because my guy has a low alignment still at this point in the game. Well, let me just tell you this, viewers. The Nugget sells for 40,000, which is nice. It's about half of my entire assets right now. And basically, it's kind of one of those things that helps you with your money situation. But I think maybe you need a higher alignment to get. Anyway, so each stage has a few little goodies you can come back and get. I need to really up my character's alignment, so I'm going to work on that over the next couple of stages. But you go back to return to map, and that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you for watching, and if you've been watching, just remember that Professor Snuggles is watching you.